Yeah. I always come in on this beat. I don't mean to. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. What's good? Sad boys. How are you guys? Love you guys. How's everyone doing? How was everyone's weekend? All right. Still trying to figure this stream stuff out, but it's getting easier. It's getting easier. Shout out to everyone tuning in. Let's see. All right. So, this is crazy. This weekend, I think it was Saturday night. We're sitting there. We're watching a movie, some crime documentary. It's juicy. And we felt our little boy kick in my wife's tummy. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever felt, like, experienced. It was nuts. We felt it was like a little boop, just a little boop, like not even a boop, like it was like a wiggle. It was crazy. But we have an appointment to get like the 3D scan, the 3D scan of like his face and, you know, checking his vitals, and it's like a big long appointment tomorrow. But I felt him. I felt him kick. It was crazy. What's good, Lysergics? Sad boys, what's good, guys? Yeah, no, he's gonna pop right out into an Ableton session for sure. Yeah. Yeah, sound design from day one. I'm gonna be blasting him with sine waves starting next week. Yeah, man. Great weekend. I had a pretty big release come out last week. It was a remix for Flux Pavilion. And man, I gotta say how grateful I am for the support. It's been just a couple days, but look at this. This is just a few days. Granted, this is like because it's on Flux Pavilion's profile or whatever, but man, it's so heartwarming to see all the support. I saw this. Oh wait, why can't you see my mouse? Oh, I can't see my mouse. What the heck? Where is it? That's weird. Can't see it. Well, it says 19 people listening right now. I saw it say like 80 the other day. It was crazy. I've had it at like 100 something before, but just it's been a while. So thank you to everyone who's been supporting the new remix. Please go save it, put it on a playlist, help me on the algorithm game. Really appreciate that. Oh, also, I got the artwork back for my next EP, and I'm just gonna flash it real quick. I'm just gonna flash it. Ready? Oh, bam! Oh, I'm gonna do it one more time. Ready? Oh my gosh! Look at that! That's crazy. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm just being very quick about it, just in case. Yeah, be sure to follow me on SoundCloud. Follow me on Spotify. I just updated this beautiful header here. Oh, my face is in the way. Hold on. See if I can move it. See that? Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, follow me on Spotify. Check out the new remix. Save it to a playlist. Really appreciate everyone's support on the new tracks. Got some more stuff coming super soon. But to kind of get cracking, this
We should be live.
holy crap, that was loud. To kind of get, let's see, you know what? I think that's weird. You can't see my mouse. But to kind of get cracking here. Hi, babe. I just told everyone how we felt him kick over the weekend. But yeah, so to kind of get started, I saw this thing on Instagram from this guy named Drew. I guess he used to work at Cymatics. And he was talking about, oh, I'm sure you've seen all this stuff on the internet, blah, blah, blah. And I was watching the video. I'm like, I haven't seen anything on the internet. So people in the comments were saying, oh, Cymatics bought ProducerGrind. And as an EDM producer, I'm like, what is ProducerGrind? But it's a big, very big producer channel. It's mainly focused towards like the kind of general hip hop producer, pop producer, things like that. But this guy, I forget his actual name, but he goes by Busywork Beats on YouTube, and he had this big live stream on Cymatics buying ProducerGrind. And you know, EDM producers, if you weren't producing EDM in like 2015, 2016, the rise of Cymatics was something that was like pretty controversial in the beginning. I still think it's mildly like not looked down upon, but it's kind of like, oh, you use Cymatic samples or whatever. And I'll say I've used some of their samples, like, but nothing. It's always like white noise effects and, you know, transition effects and like nothing that like is the meat of a song, right? I'm not just like dragging loops or anything. But Cymatics never had like the best rep, right? They would do like, you know, a pack and like name it kind of off from the artists that they were kind of emulating and whatnot. And it was always just kind of like gimmicky, you know? And I still feel like they're like mad gimmicky, but they were only EDM samples, presets, like all that stuff for a long time. And then I guess they kind of moved over to the hip hop realm because that's where, you know, the most of the money in music production, as far as like samples and presets things go, are in that realm. And let's see, he talks about, I mean, he goes on this whole thing. He's like, Steven from Cymatics, he hates him. He is not cool with him at all. This live stream is I would just put it on 1.5 speed and go watch it. But this guy's really cool. I ended up like interacting with one of his live streams. And he's really nice. I'm actually going to test out some of his plugins tomorrow for the studio stream. So be sure to tune into that, because I told him, I was like, I'm going to try to break some of your plugins. So let's see, what did I say? 43 minutes. Yeah, right around here, it kind of gets into, yeah, that's really weird. You can't see my mouse. Sorry about that.
That's why when I introduced Cymatics to Sound Oracle, my mentor, and they treated him
Okay, let's see this.
badly, I was like, how would you treat the person who got you into an entire market badly? Their reputation was not good to come into hip hop. It was, remember back then, Cymatics was all EDM.
Yes, Cymatics bought ProducerGrind. What's good, Ominous? Yeah, they bought ProducerGrind. This is like, I guess, a big deal. I found out over the weekend. But yes, and honestly, after learning more about ProducerGrind, and knowing enough about Cymatics, it seems very strange to me. David, Ominous, you've been producing, you know, for a good minute. Cymatics wasn't always hip hop, right? Like it was always kind of like EDM focused. But there was always kind of like this weird smell about it, you know, and again, no hate to, you know, people who use their samples, but it was like low hanging fruit to a certain degree, right?
Loops and Skrillex type stuff. It was never hip hop stuff. It was never trap stuff. It was never any of that because nobody believed them.
Yeah.
They were too outside the culture. So once I introduced them to Sound Oracle, then you started seeing them slowly get into hip hop.
So his whole beef with them is that they leech off of people's likeness to sell packs. And he was live over the weekend. I commented on one of his streams and I was like, hey, I am an EDM producer. They don't have the best rep with us either. It's always been mad gimmicky. And once he started saying like using people's likeness, that's when I was like, that's exactly what they're doing. For sure. That's exactly what they're doing. I have let's see. And on this stream, right? So there was a video on ProducerGrind, where he kind of goes in and tears Steven from Cymatics a new one, in a way where he basically describes the economic hitman, which essentially is just like giving something. Okay, thanks for hopping over to YouTube. Appreciate it. I don't know what the issue with Twitch is. If I might need some help with that. If somebody knows Twitch, I might just not even do Twitch at all because it's too much work. Takes up more. It's always it is kind of laggy, right? But he goes into this thing where he's looking at a video that was the top video on ProducerGrind, where he's kind of criticizing Steven from Cymatics and how he is essentially the economic hitman of the producer world, where you go and he describes it as like if you're in Haiti and America goes to Haiti and gives a bunch of rice away for free. What happens to all the people who sell rice in Haiti? Well, they essentially go out of business. And then the the people who sell rice from America can come in and basically dominate the market. And that's what he's saying Cymatics is doing with the sample and preset game, and using people's likeness to do it. I had never heard this take before, nor have I kept up with anything Cymatics has been doing for the last 5 years, because they've been like doing the same thing they did in email or in EDM with hip hop, right? Lysergic says Steven from Cymatics is always spamming my email. 1000%. That was like one big reason where it's like, get this pack. There's only 500 left. It's like, what do you mean there's only 500 left? It's not like an NFT where there's like a limited amount or anything. It's like that could be duplicated into infinity, because it's a digital product, right? Let me see here. Get out of this. Sorry, guys. Why is it doing that? There we go. Okay. So he's talking about how they basically come in and make something super cheap, if not free, in a real gimmicky way, and then eliminates the people who are kind of making a living doing that in the same market by undercutting their product and their price and stuff. And again, I never heard that take, but I've always known Cymatics has kind of done that, right? And since Cymatics moved over to the hip hop world, there has been a resurgence of very, very good sample and preset, companies that have kind of come up in that wake over the last few years. That I think Culture is spelled with a K, really good one. Minimal Audio, their samples are fantastic. What's the other? I forget the other one that I'm using right now. Avant. Yeah, Avant is a really, really good sample pack company. But yeah, so he goes in and he tears him a new one. But while he's looking at his video on stream, the video gets deleted, right? And everyone using shadow samples right now too. I haven't heard of shadow samples. I'm gonna check them out.
Businesses are purchased. There's many different equity. That's called seller financing.
Let's see here. His mic messes up.
Okay, you can hear me now. All right, cool. Conspiracy.
Let's see here.
They'll sell out to not really telling the truth and kind of bending the truth to fit the narrative. They'll sell out by throwing their own people under the bus. You know, there's many ways you could sell out. And so if you guys didn't know, let's see how many people are in here before I start dropping bombs. We have 96 people in here. Add
I was watching this and the video got deleted while he was watching it.
Page, okay? You guys have social media like a pussy. Agree with them or not, okay? So when people block me, it shows me how whack they are. That I'm up for everybody who's here. We here.
I'm about to unleash.
I want to just go to the part
flame.
where his.
Didn't know. I know the mic's a little scratchy. It's because I'm my C brand. So guys, listen to Steven from Cymatics. I want to say it 1,000 times. Steven from Cymatics
rips him a new one.
claims that he bought ProducerGrind. He's now the CEO of ProducerGrind. Now we got to be careful because I said this before. I said it doesn't mean that ProducerGrind or Dylan was given $1 million and you know Dylan could just do his thing. Sometimes there's 3 deals. You have cash deal, cash and equity, or no cash.
Yeah,
all equity.
there's no like.
What that means?
I don't think there's any like straight up news on what the deal actually was, but essentially, while he's watching his video trying to explain his point of view, the video gets deleted on ProducerGrind, and his whole point is like, oh well, if he's deleting this, is he gonna go delete? If he doesn't like Metro Boomin, is he gonna go delete Metro Boomin's interview? Right? Like, is he gonna go? And I went into a rabbit hole and then ended up hopping into one of his lives to kind of throw some comments at it. But let's see here. Yeah, this is another video. This was the live stream where he actually includes TB from ProducerGrind. It's at 28:51. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize for the language in advance. He does use some choice words, which like I'm trying to avoid, but I want to watch this video to kind of prove my point here. But yeah, so this is TB from ProducerGrind, and he like gets on a live stream on a Discord call with them, and he kind of explains his point of view where he's like, "Hey, we're not selling out. We're trying to make money. It's a business." But I'll let him kind of say his part here.
Like, nigga, when we was doing the interviews, I had to monitor the mic and think about the camera shutting down every time, bro. I couldn't even think about questions because I'm thinking about that shit. Now we got a budget. We got an actual team. We got a budget to travel now and shit like that. You feel me? Like, all Steven did, he put it into now we could actually see the potential of what PG could do. You have to understand that involves kits too, my nigga. That's how we made our money, nigga. We don't make money off the interviews. All them fucking 800 videos and tutorials I did, them shits ain't make no money. It was the kits that make money, bro. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know Busy be saying what he be saying about that shit and everything, and that's his opinion. You feel me? I'm not finna, you know what I'm saying? That's his opinion. So if you feel that way, that's how you feel. I'm just saying at the end of the day, bro, like, ain't nobody, nigga, PG not finna sell out, bro. That shit dead, bro.
So,
only reason why I'm addressing this.
So from the guy who works there, he says it's not gonna sell out. And honestly, like, there's no way to tell, right? But my experience as, you know, an EDM producer, dubstep producer, Cymatics already had this like stink about them, right? And they all had this. It was very just like, oh, use Cymatic samples or use, you know. And I'll say some of their presets in like the first couple months that they dropped, some of their presets were good. And this was like right when like Serum kind of first came out, and people were still figuring out Serum, and they you know, in that one little speck of time, right? They had like some good presets, but they were still ripping off other people. Yeah, Cymatics fell off hard in EDM, right? And it seems like they're kind of not necessarily selling out, but they're having to you know, cover up their reputation by like partnering with someone who has a fantastic reputation like ProducerGrind. There was a, let's see. Oh yeah, right here. So I went ahead and I was doing some research here, and I found this Reddit post, and I think this Reddit post really kind of covers the um, the mood behind this, right? This guy says, for anyone who missed the announcement, it's true. Steven acquired ProducerGrind. This is exciting news for me. I'm looking forward to seeing more collaborations with sound designers, artists, producers, and sample makers. Hopefully the quality of the packs will improve even more. However, I'm a bit skeptical about the possibility of Steven going back to his money-grabbing tactics, like spamming emails, releasing overpriced, low-quality packs, and recycling old sounds that could hurt both brands badly. Lysergic says, but by the way, Miss the Rage by Trippy Red, yep, is just a Cymatics loop reversed. Yeah, I remember seeing that video. And it's like, that's the potential of loop packs and things like that. But it's still like, I just think their overall kind of effect on the producer market and like where people get their inspiration. Yeah, Ominous says, I really don't like their email marketing tactics. Like, yeah, man, like it's very like gimmicky, and I understand, like, does everybody get an email at 11 a.m. from 7 different companies you didn't realize you were subscribed to? I do. Like, I'll get a blast. All businesses do this at like 11 a.m. where it's just like, hey, here's all our deals for the week, right? And it's not every single day, right? But it's like Mondays or Tuesdays at 11 a.m. I get a blast of emails from many different people. But for a long time, it was just like I bet I could go into my email, type in Cymatics, and just see every single day, emails like, packs going out of style, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, relax. People are going to pass your pack around anyways, like if you use the Ivory pack, that's like the dubstep pack that people are using right now. In the info, or like the little text file in the Ivory pack, he's like, hey, thanks for supporting this pack however you got it. Like, he's a realistic probably because he's pirated tons of packs himself, right? Who hasn't? But to sit there and say like that there's limited quantity of this stuff when you could just go to what was it, like it started with an R, Rue Tracker or something like that, and just get any pack that ever existed ever. And I don't know, it's just very like leaves a bad taste in your mouth as a consumer. This guy says, Cymatics honestly just ruined their image, and I could see it happening with ProducerGrind over the last couple months. Now ProducerGrind will be ruined too. I genuinely hope not. I did research on them, and they have a really good thing going on. Let's see. Yeah, I like ProducerGrind stuff, so I hope Steven doesn't overdo it with constant pack after pack drop where they'll start putting quantity over quality. Yeah, that's exactly what he did with EDM as well. For how much they bought how much did they buy it for? Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. Let's see. This guy says, I can see Steve completely ruining ProducerGrind and everyone leaving. Trap Genesis is meh. I think Trap Genesis was like their first collab pack. There's like a beta out for it right now. It says Trap Genesis is meh. Cymatics is just so awful. I saw their recent tutorials and it was painful. The quality of their material is awful. When they released that new mystery bundle, I physically cringed. It's a pump and dump of low quality content for people who desperately want to be producers, unfortunately. This is not good because then next it'll become a monopoly and so on. Yeah, I thought this guy's comment was interesting. From the moment they announced the quote-unquote collaboration, I immediately noticed how it was marketed. I just knew right away that Steven bought ProducerGrind. And to be honest, I don't see things improving at all. If you want to change your company, you as a person also need to change. And that was BusyWorks' big issue, was like he's just the kind of person that he is, and in his intent behind buying ProducerGrind was malicious, essentially, and that it's not going to help the common producer or people who genuinely want to learn and grow as producers. He's just going to capitalize on that and not recycle any of that revenue generated back into the producer community, which as a teacher and as someone who teaches someone full time, I think that's super important, right? Like, people need to be able to access resources that make it easier for them to reach their goals, right? And part of that is revenue, once you get to a certain level of producing. And what most of us have been able to tell from the past 2-3 years, maybe in the past 4 years, is that Cymatics has been stagnating in everything they do. They make overpriced sample packs, plugins, etc. The market isn't asking for it anymore. All I'm seeing is just another polished turd with a golden promise that isn't happening. And again, I'm going to go to the big camp for this right here. Okay. As a representative of the EDM community and EDM producers across the world, Cymatics has always had a fishy rap. Gimmicky, leechy, very cheesy, low-hanging fruit, low-quality stuff, right? And so the fact that they're doing the same thing to hip-hop and like pop and lo-fi producers and stuff, it does make me cringe. Makes me physically cringe, because they're the quantity, they're like Americanizing and imperializing producer content, right? And to see something like ProducerGrind get taken over by someone with that kind of mindset is highly questionable. Now, there's other people involved that could make it different, right? And I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and see where it goes. But you won't see me getting in any of those packs. One, I don't need them. Two, it's still got the stench. It's still got the Cymatics stench on it. And I'm personally not going to take part in it. But I will sit in the corner and watch and see how things change. And the last thing I want to look at here is I guess he posted a video, and let's check it out. And the first thing I noticed is that
at first
there's all this like producer stuff in the background, for one that's hooked up to nothing, right? There's no chords leading from here. So they're off. They're props in the background, which is like, dude, from what I understand, he is not a producer or musician at heart. But again, I'm not here to trash Steven from Cymatics. Oh crap, I forgot to switch back over to the window. Sorry. But yeah, look, there's no wires. These are turned off, very proppy looking from the get-go. So but again, this is like the typical Cymatics thing where it's just like, make it look good, pump a bunch of stuff out. It still has that same smell, right? Medici, what's good, bro? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. We're talking about how Cymatics bought ProducerGrind. ProducerGrind's like a big, like, I guess, hip hop music production channel. They do like interviews, tutorials, and things like that. And they were bought out by Cymatics. Medici, you've been producing probably long enough to remember when Cymatics was really big in the EDM scene. And they've always kind of had this like stigma about it. That's the word I've been looking for this entire stream, is stigma. But I just wanted to peep this one video for like a split second, where it just shows like all of this, like these hardware synths in the background that are hooked up to nothing and turned off. I think that's just pretty indicative of the game that they're playing. It's like that stuff like isn't even set up or being used or anything. Lysergic says, I'm sure some creative 16-year-old will take these new samples and presets and make something crazy, though. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's like kind of the idea behind sample packs, is like you want to take your own thing and do your own thing. Take it and do your own thing with it. But ultimately, how they're capturing the 95% of producers and entry level beat makers and things like that are not on that creative wave, right, is they're going to just like take a lot of their money in time and actually pull their attention away from becoming better producers and thinking, oh, we just need these packs to be better producers, and I'm just going to use this. And it lowers the quality of production that they feel like they need to achieve to do something good, when really you're just using samples and things like that. So, Lysergics, I've seen you like grow as a producer over like the last, 6-7 months, like with Industry Set and stuff. And I think like not everyone is on that. Most people are not on that wave when they first get started, where they're just like, do or die, got to learn this and figure this out and make something original. But also at the same time, yes, there's going to be those like Easter egg producers who can take any sample and do anything with it to some degree, and the entry level side, right? But my issue is that most people aren't that, and they are like putting money into developing their libraries, and they're just going to be, doing it with, I hope not Cymatics packs, but if you don't know any better and you just got into the market, it's not going to lead you down the best road. That's the best way I can put it. So just real interesting. I just wanted to show a screen cap of this video, just to kind of show, I think this is like a very, like a good way to kind of describe like probably the direction things are going to go. It's probably not going to be hooked up the right way, and very proppy looking. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this merger. But yeah, man, so drop your thoughts on that. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, this was kind of some noise, over the weekend. Tyler, the Creator, let's see here. Yeah. This is from Music Tech. Tyler, the Creator, slams meme musicians. You're taking up space. The rapper shares his frustrations at artists who just do this as for money. Tyler, the Creator, has... Oh, okay. Tyler, the Creator has hit out at musicians who make meme records for taking up space in the industry. The rapper, real name Tyler Okonma, I'm not sure how to say that, did not mince words in his latest critique of the genre and the internet culture surrounding it. In a new teaser for the web series Mavericks with Mav Carter, the musician says there's so many ends that out right now that aren't musicians that are getting treated like musicians because they make meme records. I think a good example of this would be like Ice Spice, where it's not as much about her music as it is like about her butt. Like it's obviously about, it's you're selling your butt, not the music. The music is like, in my opinion, I guess I can't say in my opinion objectively, but it's objectively bad. It's like, it's not good. It's like her image that sells the records, which is why I think her following has been kind of depleting lately, because people are starting to Square for rhythm meme songs too. Yeah, it's like it is especially in EDM, there is this thing too where it's just like it's easy to make one thing sound decent, but that doesn't like make you a musician. That blow up. Yeah. He says publicly they'll be like, I don't give an F about music, I just do this as for money. And yeah, I think that's kind of tying back into the Cymatics thing that we were just talking about a little bit ago, where it's not about the culture. It's not about making good music. It's not about making amazing content. It's about just like generating money and generating revenue. And that is poison to the overall music culture, regardless of genre. He says, it says here, he compares the phenomenon to the famous Spider-Man clone meme, saying, when every publication is like, hell yeah, let's put that out, taking up space for ends like me. Despite his comments, Tyler says, I don't want to seem like a hater. Sometimes I have hater energy because I think that I'm good. Yeah, and he is good. That's the thing. He's super good. And he can make these comments because he's seen, I mean, I think he headlined, was it ACL this past year? Or something. Like, he's a superstar, and he's constantly pushing the hip hop genre in ways that challenge people, that people end up coming around to. So if anybody has the right to slam people like this, it's going to be Tyler, the Creator, for sure. Asked if his frustrations stem from how much he cares about this art form, the musician tells Carter, "I love this art form so much, bro," which would explain why he's so passionate about this. Reposting the clip. Okay, here we go. And then it's yeah, okay. So but again, he's like slamming people that are just doing this stuff for money, which again, if we go back to the Cymatics stuff from earlier, where Cymatics buys out ProducerGrind, it feels like a money gimmick. It feels like something that is not going to help the culture in many degrees, right? It's going to help a few people. Whereas like, I think ProducerGrind's kind of reputation is that they do help the common producer, right? And I think with Tyler being someone who consistently pushes music in a way that challenges people and pushes music culture forward, he has every right to put these people on blast, And I think the meme culture of music is starting to kind of die down a bit, because as people's attention span, I think it's beginning to lengthen a bit. TikTok brain is slowly starting to burn off, but also with that short attention span, people are able to kind of point out like something genuine or not quicker. But yeah, I think Tyler has every right to be kind of putting people on blast like this, and it does suck, when people blow up off of something and maybe they're not good, right? I've had people that I've produced for in the past and ghost produced for in the past that like they couldn't follow up with the thing that did well, so I had to continue being involved with them, and it's like, bro, you could have put in the work, or all that money you made from your opportunity, like you could have used to learn and develop your act more and get better, but they didn't, and then it's like this like weird relationship, because now it's taking away from me getting to work on my stuff. But also, I've been doing this stuff my whole life. I've been producing for 11, 12 years now, and I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to make good money using these skills, right? Which I encourage everyone watching, if you have an opportunity to make money doing music, you should take it, especially if you don't have a ton of other opportunities being thrown at you. So yeah, definitely shout out to Tyler on that one. I think his point of view is very respectable. Let's see. Oh, this is just something cool. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Let's see here. SoundCloud's new store pays artists 100% of merch sale profits. The SoundCloud store allows artists to sell merch with no upfront costs, with no profits being lost in hidden fees. The internet has vastly shifted how we support our favorite artists. Rather than buying CDs, streaming has quickly become the most people's preferred way to consume music. As a result, physical CD sales aren't what they used to be, and streaming revenue certainly isn't enough to live on, for sure. Lysergic says, yeah, I want to learn how to make some extra income from this. Would love to pick your brain on it sometimes. 100%, bro. 100%. Hit me up. I'm happy to help give you, feedback, direction at any time. It says here, nowadays, artists rely on merch sales more than ever, but merch sales can come with a load of hidden fees, meaning artists only get a fraction of the profits. Thankfully, a SoundCloud store is here to change that. And before I go on, this is another thing. Like, this is something that helps producers. This is something that helps smaller artists make money on their craft, right? And I feel like I know I keep talking about the Cymatics thing, but a lot of these articles stem from my inspiration in that situation. I've heard a lot of bad things about the people that they how they use people to make those packs and how little credit they get and how little they get paid, right? Sad Boy says, super interested in this SoundCloud store. Yeah, no, and I think you can just sign up for it or like request it. I don't know if they like approve everyone. But I'll continue here. Launching today, SoundCloud, and today was in this article 5 days ago, so last week. SoundCloud's new online store allows a selection of SoundCloud Next Pro artists the opportunity to sell exclusive merchandise to fans. The best part, 100% of all profits will make their way back into artists' pockets. Amazing. Like, just inarguably amazing, right? SoundCloud store is also boasts no upfront costs, as the artist won't have to pay for inventory or storage fees. Interesting. Every hoodie or shirt exclusive accessory will be made to order and immediately shipped out. I didn't know that. And SoundCloud would notify fans about any merch an artist wishes to sell. Of course, the store is in its early days. Only Wiz Khalifa, Denzel Curry, Wolface Joey, BK Rula, Armani White currently have merch available, but SoundCloud is encouraging eligible Next Pro artists to apply with hopes to expand its store in future. Dude, yeah, good move, SoundCloud. So if you are a Next Pro user on SoundCloud, I'm pretty sure you can just, I think I typed it into Google where I was like SoundCloud store. I was already logged into SoundCloud, so it prompted me to just sign up for it or apply for it. And it'll, give you things, options of things you wanted to sell. I just picked t-shirts, sent my email in. I haven't heard back. That was a couple of days ago. It continues here. It says, this isn't the first time SoundCloud has attempted to help artists make a living. In 2021, the streaming platform introduced fan-powered royalties to aid independent artists, allowing those with loyal, dedicated fan base to earn more per stream. The shift earned Portishead 500% more revenue on a track than the band would have otherwise earned. Alongside the artist's merchandise, the store also boasts exclusive SoundCloud Essentials collection. The Essentials collection will allow SoundCloud lovers to wear their music-loving heart on their sleeves. Let's see here. With selection of SoundCloud-centric tees, tanks. I mean, honestly, I would rock a SoundCloud t-shirt. Cyranic, what's good, bro? He said, I got gimmicked into Cymatics while going to school for my audio degree. Worst $150 I've ever spent on music production. Thank you. Thank you, Cyranic, for adding to that point. But yeah, so with SoundCloud has always been like very much in support of the lower tier artists, which is why I think a lot of it's been very hip hop and EDM centric for the past 10 years, right? Do you remember? I mean, who was it? Marshmello blew up on SoundCloud. There's been tons of people. Lil Pump, that went and he came and went, right? But ultimately, it showed the power of the platform, given that enough people hop on a wave, and enough people get notified, or they get onto a certain trend or something. A lot of the times, like, you can blow up on SoundCloud. That's not, I mean, half of these EDM artists are blowing up off of just unofficial remixes. Let's see. Lysergic says they just added multiple names to collab songs, by the way. What, collab songs? Wait, what do you mean? Elaborate, Lysergic. I'm not sure what you mean. Where's my mouse? There it is. So yeah, SoundCloud has always been one of those platforms. I mean, I've used it religiously, right? And it's a place. It's kind of like this like social media / streaming platform blend where I can go and comment. Oh, I see. Like if you collab, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so now you can have multiple artists. He says check any collab on SoundCloud. Let's look. Let's see. Let me look for a collab. Let's see who's come up. Zed's Dead. They put out stuff, right? Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. They've got multiple artists tagged on there now. Finally. I've always wondered when that was going to happen. Like that seems like a simple thing you could do, right? To make yourself more accessible to a certain, if someone's streaming, right? But also if multiple people are collabing on a song, not all of those streams are going to like one profile, Yeah, no, yeah, I see. We just checked that out. That's super cool. Zed's Dead and Reaper, right? So, no, that's dope. that should have been done a long time ago, right? But I think SoundCloud is definitely, they're on something when it comes to, keeping their head above water in regards to how much Spotify dominates the streaming market. The true hardcore fans, especially in EDM and hip hop, go to SoundCloud, right? Because a lot of these guys will put like unofficial remixes, previews of their tracks, their mixes from certain shows, live streams, things like that on their SoundCloud. So yeah, I mean, I think this is another like A+ move from SoundCloud, being able to, just sell merch, and it's direct to consumer. It's made to order. Like, who doesn't like something that's made to order, right? It's fresh. So yeah, shout out SoundCloud. That's super huge. I hope I get accepted into that program because I have so many shirts that I've been trying to get rid of. And I'm hoping I can sell a bunch at my show in Austin this weekend. Which, by the way, I'm coming to Austin for Toxic Summer with Ray Volpe. Yeah, I'm coming this weekend to Austin for Toxic Summer with Ray Volpe, Alley Cat, Sippy, Hostage Situation, Ruvlo, and Blank. It's gonna be huge. I'm super excited. It's a 360 show. I think it's almost sold out, but if you're in the Texas area and you're trying to go to that, I would get those tickets ASAP. I'm super pumped. It's at Concourse Concourse Project, excuse me. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see. Okay, this is some more EDM stuff, which this show is mostly going to be focused around. This is from EDM.com. It says, James Hype responds to pre-recorded set claims. I think this narrative is damaging for the culture. Hype's recent clash with skeptics underscores the prevailing tensions associated with the authenticity of live DJing in the social media age. Let's see here. Yes, Sad Boy said that show is going to be huge. Super pumped about that. From spinning records to setting them straight. Yeah, from spinning records to setting them straight, James Hype has had enough of falsely claiming he does not DJ live. And I think of all people to accuse of doing pre-recorded sets, it should not be James Hype. James Hype, I think, like, notoriously is like, he came up as a DJ, and he like kind of got big off of doing his live mashups that he would record and other people would play. But like James Hype is like the DJ's DJ, I don't know. I can't believe people were accusing him of doing pre-recorded sets. Now, that being said, when you get to a certain level of DJing and you're playing Tomorrow World or Tomorrowland main stage, and they've got pyro and animatronics and fireworks and CO2 cannons, like all of these things timed perfectly, odds are when you're at that stage with that many moving parts, odds are it's heavily pre-recorded. I'm not accusing anybody of anything because I think James Hype is the last person to play a pre-recorded set that being said, to act like it doesn't happen is immature, right? I think everyone should know that when there's so many things depending on a show, like being timed perfectly, it you almost kind of have to a certain degree. But yeah, let's keep going. I'll add more on that later. He says his recent clash with skeptics and rebuttal to such claims highlight a persistent issue in the electronic music community. Accusations of fake DJing continue to plague even the most talented artist. That troubled trend, Hype says, is damaging for the culture. I agree. A few months ago, I started to notice a trend. Whenever a video of my DJing went viral, 50% of the comments were from people saying it was fake and that I was a fraud. And I think those people haven't been around long enough, or they don't know your story. Cymatics says South by Southwest SoundCloud 2022 versus SoundCloud 2024 is a complete turnaround. Yeah, 1000%. What he's talking about is we did an event with SoundCloud in Austin for South by Southwest in 2022, where it was like 20-minute education sessions on like low budget recording, right? So it's like we'd go over different mics, different programs, and just kind of explain the process of hooking up a mic, what a D to A or A to D converter is, which A to D converter is just your normal audio interface, analog to digital converter, and how that records sound and tricks you can do to improve your recording environment with a low budget, right? And we did like, dude, Chris, how many did we do? We did probably, I don't know, 10 sessions. I mean, we were at this for a while. And it was hard work, but once you get the spiel down, it was kind of easy. But, it was, SoundCloud was in a different position in the culture then. They were that was the point where people were like, oh, SoundCloud's falling off, blah, blah, blah. But I think they've done a lot around improving their image in that time, for sure. Cymatics also says James Hype is always live, but he has a routine. His losing it routine made him famous. Was a routine he always did for 5 years, and it caught him by surprise when it blew up. Yeah, and that's how he got super big, was his live DJing skills. Yeah, and kind of going back to his comment, half of his comment saying that he was a fake and a fraud, I just don't think they've been around long enough. That I was saying last week's stream that there's a new layer of people in the EDM culture, like they don't know who Knife Party is, right? They didn't see the James Hype come up, or they think Cymatics is only a hip hop thing, and they don't know that it started off with the EDM culture, and they started by leeching off of our culture first before they ever moved to hip hop, right? There's in the last 5 years, especially post COVID, there's a bunch of people who don't know the context of how this scene in America has developed to the point that it is, right? Not knowing the James Hype come up is one of those things, 100%. I'll continue here. Hype said in an emailed statement to EDM.com, there seems to be a narrative that all DJs playing on big stages are playing pre-recorded sets, and I want to break that. I'm trying to deliver a different show every single time and doing stuff that's actually live, unique, and risky, the only way I know how to perform. Yeah, and again, I think of all people, James Hype is the guy that's performing live every single time. I wouldn't question for a second. That's like saying Fred again is playing a pre-recorded set. It's like, obviously he's not. If you sit there and watch what he's doing, right? But he, again, it's not, there's a narrative that big DJs play pre-recorded sets, like that happens. Like to say that or act like it doesn't, I don't think that's smart. But to say that James Hype is one of those people is even less smart, right? He's like the live DJ, like patient zero, Hype then invoked a 2021 live stream by deadmau5 that resurfaced in the summer of 2023, wherein the influencer influential producer claimed that DJs performing at major festivals play pre-recorded sets most of this time to adhere to rigorous time constraints imposed by the organizers of those events. A few months later, in November 2023, a contentious Reddit thread began to pick up steam as ravers questioned en masse which DJs were genuinely performing live at EDC Orlando. Hype, who was mentioned frequently, then took to social media to bemoan deadmau5's commentary by virtue of an Instagram reel containing a number of clips from his DJ sets. Lysergic said, Ominous, we'll see you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Studio stream tomorrow, so be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the studio stream. Catch some sound design stuff. I'm going to be trying to break some plugins. Lysergic says, can't be that upset about pre-recorded sets when many rappers are just ad-libbing over their own tracks. And that's something that Tyler, the Creator, was saying as well. It's like the bar is so low, right? When everyone's doing it or like lip syncing or whatever, it's like, you know, the common consumer doesn't really care, right? EDM is a little bit different, but Lysergic says, plus many festivals require you to play pre-recorded sets. Again, if you're on main stage and there's $50,000 of fireworks, you know, timed to a certain moment in your track or in your set, yeah, that's a liability, right? Like the idea that doesn't happen is I think a little immature, but to say it's happening with everyone, that's dumb too, right? How many videos have we seen of Tiesto, you know, messing up or whatever, you know, but then there's videos of like David Guetta like doing just hitting the Q button, like tripping on acid or something, whatever. I don't know if anyone's seen that video. What is it? David Guetta, Tomorrowland tweaking. Yeah, 2014. Holy crap, this was 10 years ago. Let's see. Look at this. Shout out the cameraman. Smashing the Q button, baby. Look at that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? The common producer does not care. But yeah, this was 10 years ago, and kind of adding to that that point where there's like a layer of people that have come into the EDM culture in the past 4 to 5 years that don't even know about that stuff. That they don't. Yeah, he said, "I know that stare." Yeah, exactly. We all know what's happening there, right? But man, there's people who don't even know that happened. You know. When I think of David Guetta, that's what I think of. They're just there to have a good time. Lysergic says, yeah, exactly. Like the show must go on, right? And I think in some good ways, I get it. In some ways that take away from the live performance that people work into. Cymatics says, when the Sid kicks in and the crowd morphs in front of you. Yeah, no, he was sweating. Ooh, he was peaking for sure. Yeah. And then he says, but then you have the one DJ in the back judging transitions. Yeah, I'll say that's me for sure. I'm just in the back with my drink. Like, that was questionable. That was a questionable transition, sir. You got paid $10,000 to come transition like that. I could have done that. There's plenty of those, and everywhere you go. Jules says, I don't think it's so much festivals requiring pre-recorded sets as if you want visuals and lighting unscaled done right, you want to do pre-planned sets. Yeah, and Jules, I was saying that earlier, where it's like when there's $50,000 of fireworks and CO2 and pyro and, you know, gigantic visual schemes like timed, like the odds are you're playing a pre-recorded set to some degree, especially the Tomorrowland budget. Cymatics says, I'm that DJ judging hard AF. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we both are, bro. We'll both be at the back of shows, just like you hear a bad transition, wait, I'll go to the big cam for this. You hear a bad transition, you look at your boy like right here. So let's see. All right, continuing. But Jules, yes, 100%. Chris Ramos says, I wonder what sober feels like right now, David G. Yeah. He was so far from sober in that video. But that's like an EDM classic video. People don't even know this happened. That and the Gordo, the Carnage, Very More, Way Louder video he did for was it Razor? It was like he did a music production. He's like, I don't even know what this knob does, but it just makes it very, very way more louder. It's like you're a Grammy nominated producer and you say this knob makes it very way more louder. Like, come on now. The classic, we just made this in the green room 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Sad Boy said, the other day we found out that if you want to use the LED screens at the Brooklyn Mirage, the artist has to pay $30K. Why? Why even have it there? Or do they not, Sad Boys, do they not have it just set up all the time? Yeah. That's really unfortunate. Like, you have to pay to get it set up. Like, why wouldn't that just be set up all the time? You know, it's such a important part of the show. I don't know. And that's probably why people go to Brooklyn Mirage, right? Chris Ramos says that happened at Concourse with West End and Joshua. They forgot the lows. And I looked at my buddy Nick and we both were just like, ooh, someone forgot the lows. Local DJs stand up. Yeah. But hey, that's how you know they're not playing a recorded set, is like right on a drop. Right on a drop, there's no bass, and it's like, oh, you know, and then you hear the bass cut in really quick. Good indicator that they're doing that live, for sure. Okay, let's keep going here. I appreciate everyone interacting with the chat. Jules says our boy Gabe is the Mirage's VJ. We could ask him. Ooh, all right, let's get it. Let's find out. I really want to know. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. James Hype says, I saw a video where Deadmau5 told his fans that EDC requires all artists to play pre-recorded, and it's just not true. I've played the biggest festivals and all the biggest stages. Hype's statement continues. I think the narrative is damaging the culture and new DJs coming up. It's worth noting that Deadmau5 clarified his remarks in a comment on Hype's reel. I'm almost positive this wasn't directed at you, he wrote at the time, nor was it at anyone really. Getting pretty tired of having to explain myself over and over, but the clip was taken and edited from a literal popcorn eating facetious rant. But since everyone's just taking it so damn serious, run with it, I guess. Yeah, again, of all people that I think should be feeling attacked by the pre-recorded set narrative, it's not James Hype. Like, I think again, if people are accusing him of playing a pre-recorded set, they haven't been around long enough, nor do they know his story. But to say that it just doesn't happen and to just disregard what Deadmau5 said, that, oh, they make him play a pre-recorded set at EDC, again, like, when there's such a big budget dependent on the moment, creating the moment for the festival goers and creating those Instagram moments and the after movies and all the drones are all in the perfect position and the fireworks going off at the right time. Like, I can't see why they wouldn't make them play a pre-recorded set. Cyranic says, story for next week, the finances at Brooklyn Mirage. Sad Boy said it could be someone spreading silly rumors. Hey, and maybe just that person, maybe they don't like that person and they're like, you know what? Of all people, you got to pay $30K to use our thing. You know what I mean? Like, I find it hard to believe that it's like a $30K minimum just to use the thing that's probably installed there all the time. Is what it is. Quick little plug promo break. I do want to say I had a song come out last week. It's an official remix for Flux Pavilion. I can't find my mouse. What the heck? Where's my mouse? There it is. Official remix for Flux Pavilion out on Circus Records. I've been getting a ton of support on it these past couple days. Add it to a playlist. Be sure to stream that. Save it onto a playlist. Get it on your algorithm. Help your boy out with the algorithm game. Really appreciate that. And also, I am coming to Austin this week for Toxic Summer with Ray Volpe, Blank, Alley Cat, Hostage Situation, Revlo, Sippy, and your boy here. So be sure to get those tickets if you're in Austin. It is almost sold out for sure. All right. Yeah. So I think all in all with this here, actually, let's see. Let's back to the James Hype thing. I want to watch this because I haven't seen this.
It has come to my attention.
Holy crap. That's loud. Sorry.
That somehow Deadmau5 has managed to convince the whole world that DJs aren't actually DJing. So I got sent these screenshots of messages on Reddit about EDC at the weekend. Check it out. Now, someone actually mentioned me in this post, and someone's come back and said, no one's allowed to DJ live. It's not an option.
Most major festivals, you have to play a pre-recorded set. Like EDC, I would be surprised.
So in this video, I will show you 4 clips from my set at EDC to prove that I was DJing live. As always. Also, one of them's a bit of a fail. I thought I would leave that in there to prove it's really real.
He's a monster. He's a monster. Yeah, he's a monster. No, I don't. Me personally, me personally, I don't. This is the last person I would ever suspect of playing a pre-recorded set of James Hype because his whole brand is the live performance, right? Let's see. Lysergic says huge, and yeah, no, I mean, this is like one of the greats when it comes to EDM DJing and like the mashups and the edits and like doing all of that live. He's like kind of the GOAT in that regard, right? So it says here, Hype's comments are timely from a macro standpoint. Today's DJs must navigate a landscape where technical prowess and creative pre-planning are both essential and scrutinized. To that end, it's fair to wonder whether the culture's obsession with authenticity in the social media age sadly overlooks the rigorous preparation and skill required to deliver a DJ set of Hype's competence. Yeah, the dude he's a monster DJ, and this is the last person I would ever put on the list of pre-recorded sets. Just me. A real challenge lies in educating the audience and preserving the integrity of DJing in an increasingly what word is that? Pernicious digital world. I've never seen that word before. Where whether or not the stigma persists remains to be seen, but it's a safe bet. Fans of Hype can blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, James Hype, the last person I would ever expect to be doing a pre-recorded set, but of all people to take it personally and bring awareness to that I think James Hype is the right guy for the job, for sure. Let's see here. What's next? All right. I said I wasn't going to spend too much time on this. Spend like 20 minutes on it. Jules said, check your text. Oh, all right. The discussion begins. Let's see. All right. So this is another one from EDM.com here. WHOiSEE makes feature-length film score debut. The Dutch producer channeled a new creative vision for Electric Child, which premieres today at Switzerland's Locarno Music Festival. I think that's supposed to be film festival. This was a little over a week ago, August 9th. Expectations can often confine artists to a singular sound, but WHOiSEE's journey reveals depth and versatility that has been shimmering just beneath the surface. one thing I want to show before I get into this, the cage, Still in the Cage, right? If you haven't seen this Still in the Cage, it's a short film. WHOiSEE and Skrillex, they did like a 4-track EP. This is one of the craziest music projects I've ever seen in my life, right? And it follows this, I think they're in China, and they kind of go to, these parties. Like one of them gets kidnapped into this like cannibalistic thing. It's kind of creepy, but it's so cool how they do this entire like 20-minute narrative around the tracks, around the track list, right? I just want to play it for just a second here. This is crazy. Oh. Right. So it goes through all these different acts and describes all these different characters, right? And by the end, they're in this like weird little cannibalistic like cult thing. But they're like a breakdancing cannibalistic cult. Look at this. This is so cool. So innovative.
Can't nobody stop me.
Right, and so this is kind of the first. Lysergic says I'm a proponent of bringing back EDM music videos. This is like the ultimate EDM music video. It's an EDM like short film, and it's directed so well. It's produced so well. My favorite part is here at the end, where they're like doing all these crazy dances and stuff. Here, and they're like trapped in the cage or whatever. And if you've heard Killa by WHOiSEE and Skrillex, right? Like they made the music video off of this part, but it's ripped out of a short film that they did. Look at this. That's so cool.
Nobody can do it like
Still hits, right? So when I saw this article about WHOiSEE doing a feature-length film score, I got really excited because I haven't heard too much from WHOiSEE in that regard, and I mean this is a good reason why, right? It says here, known for igniting dance floors with this high-energy jungle terror sound, a genre which he pioneered, the Dutch producer has now taken a bold step beyond the club scene by scoring his first feature-length film, Electric Child. Swiss director Simon, I'm going to butcher this, Jacomet, who had previously woven WHOiSEE's electrifying tracks into his films, approached the DJ as a serendipitous moment, just as he was contemplating a creative pivot into the world of film. Explaining why I haven't heard stuff from WHOiSEE in a while. For his new one, he got an idea to use my music and asked me to score the whole movie. WHOiSEE reflects in a press release shared with EDM.com. It was during that time when I was actually thinking of writing music for films, so it came at the right moment. When I first got the script, I got hooked and started making ideas immediately. Over the years, it developed with the first images, and lastly, writing the part of the whole movie. Pushing the boundaries of his own creativity, WHOiSEE says he immersed himself in the art of ambient music to craft haunting and expansive soundscapes. And the sounded like the high-level movie scoring, not just writing the music, but making all the sound effects and all the eerie, noises and like. There has anybody in the chat seen the movie The Witch? It was produced by the A24 movie studio. They made a completely new instrument to make the score of that movie, or to make a lot of the really tense and like kind of ear-bending sounds in that movie. Cymatics says Burial by Skrillex and his Red Lips remix have always been a favorite of mine. Yeah, I mean, those are those are classics, you know. And every version of that Skrillex has made and never put out. But I highly recommend people to go watch. It's called Still in the Cage by WHOiSEE and Skrillex. It's 18 and a half minute short film. The storyline is fantastic. The directing is fantastic. The music obviously is fantastic. But this was like game changer at the time, right? 8 years ago. This came out 8 years ago. So ahead of their time, this whole idea. But I could see this becoming more of a thing with EDM producers attaching a narrative to their music, because it's not so vocally driven like hip hop or rap, rap, pop, you know, something with like that features a vocal primarily, where it's more about the noises and the music and the attitude and the mood, right? I could see, you know, a short film becoming more of a trend in the future, seeing as it, you know, Skrillex and WHOiSEE were way ahead of their time in that regard. But to establish a message or a narrative behind something that doesn't necessarily have a ton of words, or maybe just like samples and things like that, I'm excited to see, you know, I want to see this film just because WHOiSEE did the movie. Let's check the preview for it. What the what was that? That kid was naked. This is questionable. Let's see. The Electric Child follows a computer scientist who bargains with the AI life form that lives in his supercomputer simulation, offering its freedom in exchange for a cure for his son's deadly neurological disease. That's a great plot. That's a creepy but great plot. The film is set to debut August 9th at Switzerland's Locarno. Yeah, it's supposed to be a film festival. I'm curious about that, but why you got to put that in the preview? Make it weird. You made it weird. But yeah, let's see. Someone has started. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. It's confirmed and true that the Mirage wall is a little bit more than 30K. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cymatics says Ganja White Knight and the story for Wobble Boy in their music videos. Yes. Yeah, right. Like if they could take that and make it like a 30-40 minute thing, that would be awesome, right? To like stitch it all together and create some kind of narrative through that, which if you watch the music videos in sequence with the collabs and stuff, you can kind of see that. But I think the difference with this WHOiSEE Skrillex thing is that it was, you know, one chunk of something that was established. And the music was built around the narrative, which I don't know what came first, the film idea or the music. Like, who cares, really? But I really, really recommend to go to really go watch this. Cymatics says, correction, it's Mr. Wobble. Yes, okay. I didn't know. I thought Wobble Boy, Mr. Wobble, whatever. I mean, I think they're both fantastic names, regardless. Yeah, so kind of going back to this Skrillex thing here. Everybody go watch this. This is EDM history right here. If you haven't been in the EDM scene for more than 8-9 years, this is something you got to go and watch, because this was something that I think went very underappreciated at the time. I might even like make a video on just this at some point. So, all right, yeah, let's back to the big cam here. I'm gonna do one or two more. Oh, speaking of music, movie scoring. All my metalheads might find this super cool. It's from Magnetic Magazine. 9 Inch Nails scoring Tron, Ares. What this groundbreaking collaboration means for the franchise. If you didn't know, Tron did the last one, or Tron. Daft Punk did the last Tron. I'm a dummy. Right? So 9 Inch Nails scoring the new Tron. That's pretty sick. I haven't read through this. Holy crap, this article is really long. All right. We're going to do our best to work through it. It says here, the announcement that 9 Inch Nails will score the upcoming Tron Ares has sent waves of excitement across the music and film communities. Known for their dark industrial sounds, 9 Inch Nails' involvement promises a unique auditory experience that could set a new benchmark for film scores. This news is particularly intriguing given the legacy of Daft Punk's iconic soundtrack for the Tron legacy. Let's see. Yeah, this is crazy. If you didn't know this was happening, I was just as mind blown when I read this. As fans eagerly await the release, let's dive into what makes this collaboration so compelling and what we can expect from the 9 Inch Nails contribution to the Tron universe. It says a new era for the Tron soundtrack. When Daft Punk scored Tron Legacy in 2010, they created a soundtrack that became almost as iconic as the film itself. The French electronic duo blend of orchestral and electronic elements captured the essence of Tron universe, making it a tough act to follow. However, 9 Inch Nails stepping in for Tron Ares, we're poised to experience a soundtrack that could redefine the auditory landscape of the franchise. Yeah, I think this is massive. And these guys innovate in more ways than just like being a rock band. Like they very much like push music listeners to and challenge their hearing in a lot of ways. 9 Inch Nails, led by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, are no strangers to the world of film scores. Their work on The Social Network earned them an Academy Award Best Original Score in 2011, beating out Daft Punk's Tron Legacy in the same category. Since then, they have continued to impress scores with films like Gone Girl and the HBO series Watchmen. I didn't know any of that. They did Gone Girl and Watchmen? Holy crap. Okay. Their ability to create atmospheric, emotionally charged music makes them a fitting choice for Tron Ares, given their track record. It's reasonable to expect a score that is both haunting and exhilarating, perfectly complementing the film's visual narrative elements. Yes, visual and narrative elements, a darker tone for Tron Ares. Yeah, it's 9 Inch Nails, of course, right? The title Tron Ares hints at a darker, more intense storyline, and 9 Inch Nails' involvement seems to confirm the direction. Known for their brooding, industrial sound, 9 Inch Nails could bring a level of depth and complexity to the film score that aligns with the more mature, perhaps even dystopian vision of Tron universe. When was Tron not dystopian? Let's just knock that out of the way. It's like that's like the first adjective I would use to describe the Tron universe. Fans have speculated that the inclusion of the word Ares, Greek god of war, in the title suggests a narrative filled with conflict and struggle. 9 Inch Nails' music is characterized by raw emotional intensities that could be the perfect backdrop for such a story. The shift in tone could also distinguish Tron Ares from its predecessors, offering a fresh take on the franchise. The announcement has sparked a flurry of reactions and speculations among fans. Some have expressed excitement about the potential for a darker, more intense soundtrack, while others have voiced curiosity about how 9 Inch Nails' style will mesh with the Tron aesthetic. I will add on that in a second. One fan commented, "Very curious to hear how this turns out. An NIN soundtrack is likely going to be very different from the Daft Punk soundtrack, and to me sounds like it's going to be a much darker movie, which is also intriguing. This sentiment echoes the general anticipation surrounding the project, as fans eagerly await to see how 9 Inch Nails' unique sound will influence the film's overall tone." Which, if you're not aware, which I'm sure plenty of people are, music, have you ever seen those clips where they show the same clip, but they change the music behind it, and it completely changes the aspect of the tone of what's happening, right? Different music behind same video. I don't know how to describe what I'm. Yeah, here it is. So it's called Same Scene, Different Music. I should have known that. This is crazy. Okay. Yeah. What's good, worldwide? How are you, man? We're talking about how music affects film. We're talking about Nine Inch Nails scoring the new Tron movie, which, me being a Nine Inch Nails super fan at one point, I'm really excited for this. Yeah, man, hit me on Instagram. Be happy to help you out. Doing good, man. Doing good. How was your weekend, bro? Everyone's weekend doing good. All right, yeah, I'm going to continue. Let's see. Here we go. Nine Inch Nails' involvement in Tron Ares could also have broader implications for the world of film scores. The unique approach to music could inspire filmmakers and composers to experiment with different sounds and styles, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in film scoring. Yeah, does everybody remember when Skrillex was involved with Transformers and stuff, and then everyone's making Transformers sounds for dubstep now? Moreover, their success in the realm of film scores could further solidify the importance of music-enhancing storytelling and creating an immersive experience. As more filmmakers recognize the potential of innovative soundtracks, we could see a shift towards more experimental and diverse approach to film scoring. Thank God I'm good today. Thank God indeed. Yeah, thank God for every day. We're lucky to wake up every single day. The announcement of Nine Inch Nails scoring Tron Ares signals an exciting new chapter in the Tron franchise with their unique... Okay, yes, we've already gone over that. So, yeah, I mean, like, are there any Nine Inch Nails fans, like, in the chat? I saw Cymatics was pretty excited about that. I'm super excited about that. I definitely want to go back and watch the Social Network and Gone Girl and then Watchmen, and really get a grasp on, like, their range and, like, what they're capable of as far as, like, the film scoring and sound designing goes. I really am curious to see what they're going to do. And, like, of course, this Nine Inch Nails is going to be a darker tone, but, and the name and all that with the storyline. But it's very interesting that, I mean, Daft Punk is really gone. That in rock in general. Yeah, very darker tone. I feel like they've pushed the genre for decades. But yeah, I think this is also a bookmark that we can kind of talk about. Daft Punk is, like, really gone. They didn't do the Olympics, right? They had no involvement with the Olympics in France, where they're from, right? I'm not familiar with the people who did the closing thing. They said Lysergic said they might add electronic elements. I mean, of course. I mean, I think you would kind of have to, being that it's such a futuristic timeline. But that being said, it's not going to be Daft Punk, right? And this is another indicator to me. It's like, man, they're really not coming back. Cyranic says Social Network was not dark, but the score at the end of the scene now makes much more sense why it went there. Yeah, I got to go and rewatch it to figure out what exactly that was. That was such a good movie, but I don't remember the score. Like, and not that it didn't stick out, but typically I'm not paying attention to the movies with more narrative driven. Now, like the Marvels and things like that with your Hans Zimmers, I'm like dialed into the score, right? But not necessarily a movie like The Social Network, would I have been like, wow, this music is fantastic. But with Nine Inch Nails doing the new Tron movie, right? It's also a bookmark of like, man, Daft Punk's really done. They're really done. And if they come back, I would be, obviously super happy. But I think this is just another indicator that they're for real. They're for real gone. I'm looking extra pasty today. Maybe it's this light. I don't know. I'm looking extra pasty. All right. Let's see. All right. I got a couple more. I'm not going to spend too much time on these. But we're going to see. I thought this was just really interesting given all the stuff going on with Kanye at the time or right now. If, I don't know, sometimes I keep up with the mainstream drama or whatever, but there's stuff going on about Kanye dealing with like brain damage and he's like addicted to nitrous and stuff like that, which is like the same stuff I think, or maybe ketamine, I don't know. But I think like the doctors that were connected with Matthew Perry were also like helping Kanye get, I don't know a ton about it, but I think this is very interesting. It says storage locker hunters uncover Kanye West gear in Epic Haul featuring AKG mics, Yeezys, and Ensoniq sampler and more. No way. I did not see that. Lysergic says, do you remember when Kanye posted Excision asking who does his visuals? Kanye is a wook at heart. I did not know that. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I'm going to look that up here in a second. But yeah, so like, why does Kanye have all this? I mean, I'm sure rich people got storage lockers on storage lockers, but like, why is it up for grabs? Right? Why is a Kanye storage locker up for grabs? A group of storage locker hunters have recently struck gold after uncovering a massive collection of Kanye West gear on their latest haul. The team known as Locker Blocker unboxed that's funny. Unboxed the contents of their latest storage locker purchase in a new live unopening video on TikTok last week. Their excitement kicked off the reveal with a flight case labeled with the name Kanye West and the word Grammys. Wow. Among the most notable finds are some pretty pricey AKG C414 microphones. Okay, let's look at that real quick. AKG C414 mic. Oops. These are like $2,000 mics, depending on where you get them from. Okay, they've come down a bit, but probably back in the day when he got them, they were $2,500 mics, easy. Oh yeah, there's a price range there, but these are nice microphones, and they just found them in a storage locker. Lysergic said, yeah, it's on his Instagram. Okay, all right, I'm gonna check that out. Custom in-ear monitors, an actual Ensoniq ASR10 sampling keyboard, yes, we're serious, with the name Tariq written on it, what looks to be the stage costumes from a Hollywood Bowl performance. Wow. Damn, they got the costumes. There are also stacks of manila envelopes containing supposedly never-before-seen Yeezy sketches and designs, and a pair of Yeezy Season 6 boots to top things off. Ooh, excuse me. That Celsius hits me hard, dude. Sorry. The video has since gone viral, even watching the attention of producer Mike Dean, who worked closely with West on many of his albums. Dean expressed curiosity in the comments, asking if any of his cases were among them, to which Locker Blocker confirmed that they were not. Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Whoa!
Grammys.
What?
Wow.
Holy shit! Damn. You sure? What is this?
Dude.
What? Holy crap! Look at that one.
Don't just throw it around. Oh, okay, it's just close. Dude.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Dang. They hit it big for sure. Lysergic said he deleted all his posts. Not surprised. Oh yeah, he did that with the Vultures album or something. But I sent you a tweet on IG with the screenshots. All right, yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'll pull it up here in a second. It says they've literally hit the Kanye West jackpot, wrote one fan. In other news, Kanye West and the estates of Donna Summer recently reached a settlement over copyright dispute, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I don't... Why is Kanye's locker up for sale, though? You know what I mean? That's kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I've just been hearing a lot of stuff around Kanye in these past couple weeks, like on the YouTube verse and things like that. And honestly, like, I just hope he's all right. I try not to like be too enamored by that stuff, but it is interesting to watch the story arcs of these superstars, you know, and how, like, the Drake, like, who, if you had told somebody that, you know, where Drake is in his career right now and how he's viewed, you know, 5 years ago, you'd be like, not Drake. Not Drake, no way. Like, Drake the best, like, he the gas, like, blah, blah, you know. But meanwhile, like, there's been people saying for years he's like a culture vulture or whatever. So like, it just, I think the same thing with the Kanye stuff. Like, I think he started his kind of downfall over 10 years ago, and it's like this like roller coaster of like he does good and then he flops and then he does. It's very interesting to see, but I can't imagine dealing with that amount of pressure and eyes on you at all times, you know. All right, this is gonna be my last one of the day. Defected Records founder Simon Dunmore: festival lineups have been stagnating. I can't say I disagree. The influential music exec took to social media to discuss the issue, which only remains one of today's most contentious debates in the festival landscape. It says here, Simon Dunmore, the influential founder of Defected Records, has opened up about the cookie-cutter nature of today's electronic music festival lineups. Many would argue that dance music cutting edge has gone dull, blunted by years of recycled festival rosters. Dunmore, who in July 2022 sold his label to former CEO Wes Saunders, took to threads to discuss this phenomenon. Phenomenon and urgency of new artists to challenge the monopoly of the established hierarchy. We're trying, bro, but it's a monopoly. It's a monopoly, right? And the agencies don't want anything to do with the smaller people. If you're not already pushing ticket sales or have some kind of hype, like, managers and agents don't want anything to do with you, and then festivals won't even give you the time of day. There's no, you know, like, smaller artists challenge. Like, well, how about these festivals pay attention a little bit more? Do some more homework on the smaller people, and not just like only give a recommended list the light of day. Right? Like, doing their homework and being in touch with the culture enough to know who's making noise for real, right? Regardless of their management or their back end situation, right? Festival lineups have been stagnating 4 years with the same 50 acts on rinse and repeat, Dunmore wrote. New talent needs to break through to challenge the monopoly of the established hierarchy. He then lauded Kind Music and Anoteur, a pair of red hot house music acts, as trailblazers, uprooting the trend. Isn't Kai Music like a rebranded big act? I don't remember. Whether or not the festival scene is in need of a shakeup is subjective, but the conversation has only continued to swell in recent years. Booking the same artists ad nauseum ensures reliable draw and satisfies longtime fans who look forward to seeing their favorites. But the approach often leads to a homogenized experience that strips away the essence of what made electronic music festivals special in the first place: discovery and innovation. This short-sighted approach has sparked debate within the dance music industry concerning its vitality, and the ripple effects are far-reaching. Promising artists are starved of crucial exposure, while the dyed-in-wool headliners grow complacent, perpetuating a vicious cycle and stifling progress with the genre. Sorry, the text is really small. It's hard to read. Let me do this. While relying on proven headliners may seem financially safe in the short term, questions arise about the long-term sustainability and cultivation of future headline caliber acts. By failing to elevate new talent and niche subgenres, it's fair to wonder if festival organizers are alienating the next generation of ravers and producers and inadvertently laying the groundwork for their own irrelevance. Yeah, and like this is like a big topic on like it just depends on where you're at in your career. I think like if you're producing your own music, you've got like an identifiable brand, you know, that's sometimes not even enough to convince these promoters and these festival organizers to put you on or give you the time of day, right? I hate it sometimes, but it really does come down to who you know, right? And I think that has started to kind of we're starting to see the negative sides of just like it's all who you know, right? And that overlooks people who are I don't want to say necessarily more deserving, right? Because there's no real way to say that, but ultimately, if it's just homies booking the homies every year and agents homies who then, you know, it's like this like kind of revolving door, right? Then we're going to get this regurgitated experience every year, you know? I think dubstep is the least guilty of this because the theme of the dubstep producer culture is what's new, what's hot, what's unreleased, who's this unfounded person that's like sending bangers to everyone. Like that's kind of the culture behind bass music. So I don't think bass music is necessarily the most guilty of that. But as far as like big festival opportunities and stuff, you know, more mainstream festival opportunities, you don't see like, you know, these breakout artists getting their opportunity they have to like work their way up, and by the time they get to these mainstream opportunities, they're already you know, generating, you know, enough noise and enough hype for it to make sense, rather than people who are throwing shows like really being in touch with the culture and staying up to date on who's putting out good stuff or creating buzz, to, you know, and again, bass music is the least guilty of this. So when I talk about this, don't think Lost Lands or Bass Canyon. I'm not talking about those guys. It's more of like the mainstream stuff, like the EDCs, maybe, the Tomorrowlands, the ACLs, the Lollapaloozas, things like that. But typically things like, I feel like Shambhala, Electric Forest, Bass Canyon, Lost Lands, like they're putting on the smaller guys, regardless of like if they have agents or whatever. Like dubstep is very good about this topic in particular, and we're talking about comments from a house music exec, so you know, take that with a grain of salt, my bass heads. Let's see here. What else does he say? He says, the economic implications of this booking trend are, of course, complex. As lineups continue to evolve, finding a balance between established crowd pleasers and fresh talent remains a key challenge for festival organizers. Yeah, I mean but that's your job. That's your job. Do your homework, you know, and find those bangers that could please a crowd. You're finding new talent, and you're not regurgitating the same, you know, lineup from a year and a half ago, or some like zombie lineup from other festivals or something. So let's see. Talking about the label, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see this as a big issue in bass music. I see this more on like the main stage, the bigger festival kind of reaches a more general audience, right? But like I said, your Lost Lands, your Bass Canyons, your Big Dubs, your Shambhalas, like their whole thing is like the people going to that festival are looking for new people. And that was kind of the culture behind most of EDM for a long time, but I feel like since house music has kind of and not even just house music, but just the EDM has become a genre on iTunes. It's definitely watered down that part of the culture a bit. So definitely let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. That's all I got today. Please continue to tune in. I really appreciate you guys' support. It really does mean a ton. I'm going to be doing this every week. I got my studio stream tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in Texas, it's at 8. If you're in Cali, it's at 6. But regardless, you can go back and watch those on demand at any time on YouTube. Don't forget to stream the new Flux Pavilion remix. Oh, and I want to show you this one more time. We're just going to do it real quick. This is the art for my new EP right here. Right here. Ready? Wow. Okay. One more time. Ready? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, so excited, man. So excited. Got an EP coming out later this year. Some other big releases locked in these past couple weeks. So yeah, man, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow for the studio stream. We're going to try to break some plugins and just continue to push people's expectations as a producer. But come in, join the chat. We're just going to open the creative discussion, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.